Thank you for stopping by the My Reader Minutes. To all that are new here, welcome. To all that have joined me on my journey, thank you so much. Um, I have been missing in action for quite a bit, maybe about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I usually try to come to the YouTube streets about once a week, right? And maybe drop a couple of videos. But I've been busy. I've been out of town. I actually am just getting back from New York. And I want to tell you, I had a ball up there. I really did. I had a good time. Um, I went and saw a couple of shows. Um, Anybody ever heard of Death Becomes Her? That was actually great. I was pleasantly surprised about how funny it was. It was really funny. I remember seeing the movie with Meryl Streep, and it may be a movie that they copied, but I remember the movie with Meryl Streep, and I liked that movie. That was funny. So this play musical was really funny. And on top of that, I didn't know that Michelle Williams had a part in it. Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child. Yes, she was, and she was great. She was great. I think the whole show was great. It was about 2.5 hours plus intermission, right? So, yeah, if you're in New York, by all means, go see that. That was good. Also, I went to go see MJ. I've always wanted to see MJ when it first came out. Um, I can say, I enjoy Michael Jackson. I already know his story because that's basically what it's about. It's about his story. And then, of course, his music is, of course, being performed. There were different stages of his life. If they told the story, they had different people playing him, one little boy all the way up until his final years. That was really cool. And they, some of them kind of look like him, but some of them just had the voice, but it was really, really good, really put together well. So I enjoyed that as well. And that's been running for a couple of years. I didn't think I was going to be able to actually see it. I didn't think I was going to be back in time to go see it. But there are some others that I didn't get an opportunity to see that I would love to have seen. Namely, one is called Six. I think that was with it's about King Henry's wives or whatever. They said that was good. But I didn't get a chance to see it. And it wasn't that long either. But anyway, when I get up there again, hopefully it'll still be running. I can go take a look. And there was one other one that I wanted to go see, but needless to say, I did my touring, went to Times Square, I ate out every day that of course I was up there because, I didn't have a kitchenette in my hotel, so I didn't cook and I didn't eat at the hotel, but there are a couple of places I ventured to and ate. We went to this karaoke bar. It was great. It was so much fun. Listen to people get up there and sing their hearts out, even though some of them couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But it was still fun anyway. Everybody was having a blast. It was great, 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 great fun times up there. Um, I know my cousin had asked, did I go by the jail that Diddy was being housed in? No. That was not on my to-do list. A couple of the people that I was with did go to Coney Island. I didn't go to Coney Island. I had been before, but they went out there and they said they enjoyed it. And I guess it's still the same, with the amusement parks and, they ate at Nathan's, the the infamous Nathan's. So it was cool. It was good. The weather stayed fairly well. I mean, we had rain here and there, but it seemed like by the time I got outside, the rain had stopped. So I was never in the rain. Never got caught. It might have been a little damp outside when I got outside, but for the most part, the weather stayed pretty good, and I loved it. And it wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold because and sometimes this part of the year, New York is a little nippy, but we were good. We were good. So yeah. So I would love to go back again, probably this time again next year. So and I can hang out and do similar things. But speaking of Diddy, since I brought that up earlier, there's some things in the news about Diddy. I know he's being sentenced, well, supposedly scheduled for this Friday. So I'm assuming the state house or courts are open because I know that there was a government shutdown or looming. So if the government gets shut down, then I don't know. Is he in a federal court? I really don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. But the prosecution is wanting him to be sentenced to 11 years. In addition, to I guess to maybe his 1 year or maybe with the 1 year already served. So maybe they just want him to get 10. I don't know. But they want him to stay in there. I think on the strength of people fear his retribution because I feel like because his past and all of this stuff that they're putting him through that that's what he may turn to. I don't know. But I feel like because of his past reputation, it's not boding well with the judge. And his thing is like, no. I know that the judge turned down his request for a be acquittal and or a new case, a new trial, and he denied both. So I think that the judge is leaning towards the prosecution side and Diddy will get some time. Now, how he divvies that up, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe even if he does serve 11 years in total, he may break it up like, okay, 3 years in jail, one you've already served. So maybe he has 2 more years for that then from there he goes to like a rehab to aid him in his anger management, yeah, or his substance abuse addictions or whatever. If he has anything, he might be dried out by now, but even still, he probably should go on a program for that, I would say, for maybe a year or two. I don't know how long they last. And then have him on probation for the remainder. And if he stumps his toe, throw his butt back in there until he finishes those 10 years. That's what I would do if I was Judge Subterranean or whatever his name is. I can't remember. But the prosecution is not letting up. Even with Miss Comey being put off of I guess out of the government period. Because I think she lost her job right after the whole trial, but they're still like saying no, he needs to serve time. What are your thoughts? Do you think Diddy needs to serve time? Let's talk about it down in the comments. I feel like he needs to serve something. Was not a good person. Um, Whether he was good to his children or not that's neither here nor there. Most people are to their family that are taking out on other people. What he did to those women, namely Cassie, was horrible. Even though in their state of mind that they were in, they went along with it, I guess, to appease him. But you shouldn't have to do that. If anything, if I'm your woman, you should find me a sacred thing. You don't want to share me with prostitutes. You know what I'm just saying? That's just, and it was just weird, just weird. And if they didn't want to do it, he got upset. It was, yeah, no, he deserves to be where he is. Now, whether they move him because the conditions aren't that great, then that's one thing. But, he needs to be behind bars. My personal opinion. Um, Also, I wanted to talk just a little bit about David and Celeste. If you all have been, keeping up with what's going on with that. Um, Still, David has not been charged with anything. I don't know if they can kind of put him at the scene of the crime, even though it was in his vehicle. I understand that multiple people had access to the vehicle. I guess he has an entourage, so it's hard to say who's under investigation. Maybe they all are under investigation, even his manager that he was staying with. We don't know, right? Also, they're trying to put a timeline on Celeste and how long they felt that she may have been in the trunk of the Tesla. I know they ran some preliminary tests. Supposedly she was not pregnant. So or has she been pregnant a year before or whatever? So she's never been pregnant. So they were saying that that might have been a motive. And maybe if David allegedly did anything to her, then that would have been a motive, but that rules that out. Also, I think they were trying to put the last time she was seen. I think the last time she was seen was in September 2024. I'm not really for certain, but she would go back and forth. Now, to me, the way I understand it, and of course, we're not probably getting all the details, is that she was just a runaway and she would run away when she felt like it. And then I guess when she was brought back, I don't know if the police brought her back or she came back on her own, then she would leave back again to be with this guy, David, I think, according to family members and things like that. So not talk I don't want to talk ill of the dead because, it's unfortunate what happened to her. But young women need to take heed to this story. I understand that sometimes when you get a certain age and you feeling yourself and your hormones are raging, women or young ladies are feeling these feelings earlier. They're growing up a little faster than they did back in my day. But if you're 12 or 13 years old, please listen to your parents. Like, you don't know it all, and uh, you don't have the mental capacity to make wise decisions because your brain has not fully developed. And I can honestly say that David's isn't either. Don't think your brain fully develops until you're 25. So technically, they probably were meeting each other in the middle. Like, girls mature faster than guys do. So if she was 13, she was probably really 16, 17, and vice versa. Him being a guy, they're not as advanced as far as their age. So he probably was 16 and 17 in mind. You know what I'm saying? So mentally. So they probably were meeting on the same level. That's my personal opinion. Don't know neither one of them, but I'm just saying that's possible, right? David has moved out of the home that they searched. Him and his manager moved, and I don't know if the police, I'm sure, know where he is, but it's an undisclosed location. Maybe people were starting to drive by just to see or whatever, because, people are weird. Things like that attract the worst stalkers. You know what I mean? And David and his manager just picked up and moved. Now, again, I'm sure he's in reach of the police because it's an ongoing investigation, and articles have been saying that he is cooperating with the police. So obviously, like I said before in my last video, he has an airtight alibi. He must have an airtight alibi. And I'm just saying, it's just amazing that the LAPD have not arrested him, not even coming in and taking him for questioning. I'm just amazed by that, But anywho, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the David and Celeste situation. Like, where are you on that? What is your opinion? Do you think he did it? Do you think he's being framed? Do you think it was an accidental death? Like they were saying that maybe she had overdosed. And maybe they just got scared and didn't know what to do with her. Just threw her in the trunk. And I feel like she's been in the trunk long enough that the decomposing of the body may have been in there so long as she started to separate on her own. And maybe she wasn't dismembered because the police aren't saying she was dismembered. However, it is now being investigated as a homicide, according to an article that I read. Before it wasn't, but now it is. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes. And if you like the video, please subscribe and like and share. Doesn't cost a thing. And it's a free way to support my channel. With that being said, everyone be blessed. Peace.